We talked a little bit about that last week on the heart openers. And the thing about forgiveness is, I really just want to say to you, cut yourself some slack. If you can't get to a yoga practice with me on 11:30 on a Sunday, it's okay. Like, you will get to what you want to get to in due time. And I think it's really important that we lighten our hearts, because we're our own worst enemies. We beat ourselves up because we didn't get to this and we didn't get to that workout. And forgiveness is really about starting with forgiving yourself. And if we can do that, it just becomes so much easier to forgive others. And I think part of our greatest challenges in life is, how does that show up in what we do? And it actually, when you're hanging on to that shitty feeling, and sorry for the language, but when you're hanging on to that feeling, it knocks you off center, right? It just puts you off kilter. And how do you come back to center? It's just to reset yourself and just say, you know what, I'm okay. Meditation's like that. Once I figured out that once you meditate and your mind wanders, you're like, I can't meditate, I can't do it. Every time you come back to it, it's a win. So it's the same with forgiveness. And you have to have the willingness to forgive. So I always say forgiveness is something you hold on to. You either hold on to it, you either forgive, or you don't, right? You either do it or you don't. And yeah, we waffle back and forth, and sometimes it doesn't seem perfect. So as we go through our practice today, I just want you to remind yourself that if you're not, feeling that this is exactly what you need it to be, it's okay. You're going to have that sense in yourself. And we have, so the practice, we're going to be opening up hamstrings today, because they're not forgiving often, right? When you really use them a lot. And we're going to do a hand mudra at the end, which is going to be really cool. So I'll do that a little further. So go ahead and find your comfortable seat. We'll get going now. And I'm just going to ask you to find your center. There's 30 of us today, which is pretty awesome in the middle of summer, right? So just go ahead and find your center, have a seat, and allow yourself a moment to arrive. And as we arrive, we're really asking ourselves just to take notice of ourselves here. Give this gift of breath to yourself in a way you would unwrap a Christmas present or a loving gift from someone. Feel that energy. And as you exhale, fan out your breath so that it can just kind of alleviate any notion of tension or expectation today. I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm not always 100% on my practice. I don't necessarily architect it out. I typically kind of just go with the feeling and the notions that surround us. So decide today what surrounds you in terms of noise and obligation. See if you can just shed that on your next exhalation. Inhale fully. Exhale any expectation. It's a good way to start the seeds of forgiveness. Let's take our arms up on our next inhalation. Let the sides of your bodies grow very long. As you send your sitting bones down, take your arms all the way around. Let your fingertips float to the ground. Open the heart up and send your sitting bones so you create a little arch with your back. Open through the heart. And then as you exhale, curl the tailbone under. Bring your hands to your knees and just curl under. And then inhale, draw the belly up and around. And then exhale, let the spine just flatten itself. Take the arm and just give yourself a little twist, just gently to start. And then exhale, come back to center, reset. And then go ahead, take a twist to the other direction. And then float back to center. And then go ahead as you're sitting now, just go ahead and give yourself some cats and cows as you're seated. And notice the transgression of your spine as it moves out and around. And then as you settle your spine back onto your tailbone, take the legs, bring them forward, put your feet on the ground, bring your hands to either side of your body, just bring your legs over to one side. So where we twisted initially on the top body, and we're going to twist a little bit in the bottom body. And then come back to center. Inhale, exhale the legs over to the other side. Allow them just to float downwards. And then inhale, come back to center. And then just walk your hands all the way up. Extend the legs into a V shape. Let your toes come towards the top of your shin. And just take your heart forward. Just a nice little welcoming stretch to the legs. Nothing major, not warmed up yet. So just kind of giving the sensations without a lot. Go ahead and grab to the inside of the legs and just let the knees kind of float. This is a nice way of milking the knee joints where we don't typically have nothing on our feet, but we're holding with the legs. And just notice the gliding joint of the knee. And then bring your feet back down. Bring your hands now all the way under. We're going to bring ourselves all the way up to standing. So we're going to topple our bodies up to the top of our mat. Let your fingertips float to either side of your body. And just stand in a moment of recollection. Interesting to the toes, interesting to the balls of your feet. And then just move your hips and you're gyrating them so that you can feel how the difference of weight is on the outside of your feet. And then take it to the other side. Just making circles with the hips in a way that is sensational so you feel it. And then just pause here. Inhale the arms all the way up, just like we did when we were seated. And see if you can make the sides of your body even longer. So you can do that by drawing your belly button closer to your spine. And then bring your fingertips together. Draw your hands to heart center. And as your hands float to heart center, create this environment for surrender. Surrendering, choosing us, that we have the ability to create this environment to surrender. Bend the knees, inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale the body, come down into a forward fold. But if you can, think about a little self-care for the back. Bend your knees significantly. Wake up the belly as soon as you can towards the back of the body. Let the head, shoulders, and neck rest. Inhale, push into the feet. Exhale, all the way down. As you bend the knees here again, you're going to take the right knee down and back. Push the left knee past the toes into a low lunge. You're just stretching here. And now rock the hips back again, top of your foot on the ground, and come into a little hamstring stretch again for that left, right. Put the toes down, bring the knee past the toe. And then just go back and forth on this. So it's a nice way to milk the joints, a nice way to feel what the beginning of either end of letting go into the hamstrings are. Bring the knee over the ankle, curl the toe under, lift the knee off the ground, step forward and forward, fold. Bend the knees, drip down with the shoulders, the head, the hands. And then as you are floating downwards, take the left knee down and back. Push the right knee past the toe, pause here. Inhale. And then as you exhale, draw the hips back, come into a small little lift with the toes into a hamstring stretch. Your knee can be bent here, it's all good. And then drop the knee, drop the foot, and then just walk the body back and forth. Again, waking up as soon as the body starts moving, it almost becomes a routine. Float back to center, bring the knee over the ankle, curl the toe under, pick up the knee, step forward, forward, fold. Inhale, halfway up now. Push the hands on the top of the thighs, lift the thigh bones back and around. And then inhale, take the torso with you, arms all the way up. And as the fingertips come together, drop your hands to your heart center and feel that beautiful long column of the spine. Bend the knees, inhale, rise. Keep coming down with the hips and sink the hips back, coming into intense pose. Maybe bring your toes in a little closer and see if there's some intention here to be a little stronger. If there's an intention to feel a little lighter in the body, then just lift up a little bit. And then find that sweet spot, kind of like the Goldilocks, just right. Hands to heart center, float down, lift the hips to the ceiling, let the head hang. With the knees bent, send that right leg back this time. Toe heel the left foot out to the side. Toe heel that, or shimmy the back foot a little further. Keep the right hand on the ground. Bring the left hand on the knee. I really like to try to pull that twist, the right rib cage under the left first. Push the back leg further back and then lift the arm up. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, maybe bring the heart a little closer to the thigh and then draw your hand to the inside of your foot. Drop the back knee and then maybe toe heel that foot out a little further so we're into the opening of the hips here in a deep way. So here we are in our own way, creating an environment for willingness to let go. Let the hands just float a little further. So again, not too deep. We haven't really warmed up too much here. And then bring your hands back to the inside of that leg. Curl the back toe under, lift the knee off the ground, step in a little bit, and then take that back foot, step to the outside of the right hand. Now you're in a bit of a wider stance here. And you're going to start to drop the hips down, just come into a little squat here, a little sumo squat. So not quite into garland pose yet. Maybe shift the body back and forth a little bit. Feel good about how the pelvic floor is supporting you and allowing you to live in fullness. Hands come down, lift the hips up, drop the head, forward fold. Keep the right foot on the ground and then send the left foot back. So you're pretty wide already with that right foot. Shimmy the left foot back a little more. Put the left hand on the ground, the right hand on the right knee, and then take the left rib cage, scoop it under the right. Now express a little more here by pulling your thigh bones away and then lift the arm up. So it's a gradual awakening of that opening. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, put it all away. And then bring the hand to the inside of the foot. Drop the back knee. Walk the hands out a little bit. Again, staying quite positive in the force here. So push down into the fingertips, lift through the heart. Again, not changing anything externally, but feeling that internal opening. Good. Just walk the hands back to center under the shoulders. Curl the back toe under, lift the knee off the ground, and step to the outside of that hand again. Now this time, as we come down into that little sumo squat, lift your heart. And here's the option to drop back into the hands and come into a garland pose. So it's a big wake up for the inner thighs, the hips. Inhale through the heart. Exhale. If you can't get into this, then stay in that sumo squat, still a wide opening. Here's a notion of forgiveness. Be kind to yourself. Let it go. Wherever you are, bring your hands to the ground. Lift the hips to the ceiling. And then take the right hand to the outside of the left leg and take your heart over. So bring your right rib cage up, your left rib cage, look over your right shoulder. Just a nice stretch for the outside of that left leg, the IT band. Come back to center. Take the left hand to the outside of the right leg and then turn your gaze to the left, looking over the left shoulder, pushing deeply into that right foot, and then come back to center. Bend the knees. Inhale, halfway up. Feel the spine moving upwards. And then allow a quality of inhalation back up. And joyfully exhale. Hands come back to heart center. Relax the face. Feel your heart lifting upwards as love for this practice, your practice, seeks downwards. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees significantly. Bring your hands to the ground. Take the right leg back, the left leg back. Come into high or low push-up. So here's a little self-care for you. If coming to high push-up is too much, if it's not in your wheelhouse today, then by all means, come to the knees and forgive yourself for that. It's okay to surrender to what feels good and right. Resentment just shades away from here. Bend the elbows, scoop the body up and come into cobra or upward facing dog, whatever your pleasure is. Curl the toes under. Serve now in your downward facing dog. I'll say this one was inspired by Martin today. As we started our practice, she was already here. Give yourself a pedaling of the heels and love how the heels respond. Bend the knees. Take the right leg, extend to the ceiling. Reach your toe up to the sky or to the ceiling. Let's work with a little bit of core as the knee comes under the body. Pause here, or be okay with dropping the knee down. Again, it's all right. And then kick that leg back up. Inhale, cross the knee across the body to the opposite elbow. Option to drop that left foot. An option to come into fallen triangle. This is a big one. If you want, you just drop that knee and open up here. What do you choose? What environment do you create? Go ahead and kick back up, three-legged dog. Come to downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look at the top of your mat. Walk, step, or jump forward into forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, let it go. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise all the way up. And as you bring your hands to heart center, ask yourself, was I able to be calm with myself? Was I able to let go of any expectation so that I could live in a bit of peace, regardless of what my choices were? Let's come to the other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold forward. Go ahead, rise halfway up. We're coming through that flow. Exhale, fold forward. Walk, step, or jump back into your high push-up. Option to stay here. Maybe take 2 or 3 little push-ups. It's totally up to you. Knees or toes, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and draw the heart down to chaturanga. Scoop up, come into cobra or upward facing dog. Again, release expectations and let your body tell you where it wants to go. Go ahead, curl the toes under, float up, back to your downward facing dog. Say hello to your shoulders. They're here to protect you. They're here to keep you strong in the upper body. They're also able to help you lengthen your spine, your side body, and then take the left leg, extend it to the ceiling. Three-legged dog. Stay here. Choose what works for you today and be okay with it. You can stay here. You can bring the knee under the body and pause. You can even drop that knee and pause. Exhale, three-legged dog. Coming to a little more strength. Lots of options here. What are you going to choose? Take the knee to the cross body, opposite elbow. You can come down on that knee, or you can extend that leg and open up into fallen triangle. Again, totally up to you. Here's the slow version. Long, strong body. Exhale, everyone, come back. Three-legged dog. Downward facing dog. And now you're going to bend the legs a lot, but this time I want you to walk the hands to the feet. So walk to the back of your mat. Pause here. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, let it go. Toes come together, heels come apart. As the hips come down and back, we kind of welcome that intense pose in a different way now. There's a depth here that perhaps wasn't there before. Can you feel it in the belly of your calves? Sink a little lower. Now bring your arms parallel to the ground. Draw your shoulder blades in. Feel your belly float inwards. That's a strong posture. Exhale, fold forward. Bring your hands to the ground. Lift the hips up. Toe heel the feet apart. Again, into your version of strength today, whatever that is. Walk the hands back out. Come back into high push-up or low push-up, wherever you are, exactly where you should be. Let's take a flow. Exhale, float down, lift to cobra or upward facing dog. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look at the top of your mat. Walk, step, or jump forward into forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, let it go. Bring your hands to the ground. Walk, step, or jump back into plank. We're kind of doing this in reverse in case you didn't figure that out. Knees or toes, doesn't matter. Push up or not, doesn't matter. Float the body down and up. Come into cobra or upward facing dog. Curl the toes under. Back to downward facing dog. Stretch the body. Remember we were here the last time. Maybe it was different. Bend the knees. Once again, take your hands. Walk them to your feet. Pause here. Toes together, heels apart. Sink the hips. Inhale, rise up. Come into intense pose again. Inhale, exhale. Draw breath to the back body now. So broaden the back body. You're going to feel the back body open up when you do that. Intentionally opening up. As you exhale, fold forward, lift the hips. Now toe heel your feet apart. Okay, look about halfway up your mat. And when you bend your knees, you're going to take that right foot forward about halfway. Lift halfway up, bring your hands to your hips. Bring your hips side by side. Now we're quite warm. This hamstring stretch should find its way into the back of your legs. So keep the legs hips side by side. You want to intensify this hamstring stretch. Bend the back leg, lift the toes in the front. Totally up to you. Choose. Be nice to yourself. Cut some slack for yourself. Bring the toe down, lift the hips up. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe bring the hands to the top of your thigh, maybe to the sides of your shin, or maybe to the ground. Totally up to you. Draw breath in. Exhale. Bend both knees. And then step side by side with your feet. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Step back with your right foot. Again, your feet are on railroad tracks, not a tight wire. Go ahead and rock up the body. Bring both legs to length. Bring your hands to your hips. Now again, giving yourself the ability to sense where you need to be. Inhale, lift. Exhale, draw the body forward. Stay here. Some options, you already know them. You can bend the back leg. You can lift the front toes. So it does require a little bit of balance. Be mindful that the hips stay side by side. Relax your face. Drop the toe, lengthen up. Bring the hands now to the top of your thigh. Option to either side of your shin or maybe to the ground. Relax your face. Inhale. Exhale. Bend both knees. Step forward again. Forward, forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward, forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise all the way up. Feel what happens to the legs when you stand your ground. Fingertips together, hands to heart center, and pause. Relax your face. And then draw your hands to either side of your body. Coming to the center of your mat and starting to think about our tree pose, Vipassana. Okay, so fingertips come to either side, reminding ourselves that balance requires breath, vision, so a drishti, and this notion of energy up through the legs, through the pelvic floor. If you've never tried it before, often the tongue to the roof of your mouth helps you with balance. It's one of our only muscles that doesn't have an insertion point, so, or an exit point. So you can push your tongue to the top of your mouth. Pause here. Inhale, let's start with the hands to heart center. Remembering that balance center. Okay, this is a little harder. Now push into the left foot, pick up the right heel without dumping into the hip. So keep rising up. Now as you push into that foot and the heel lifts up, consider the last time you were here. And be okay with whenever that was, because the reality is you're here now. It's okay. Inhale the knee up. Pause. Exhale, draw it to the side. Be mindful here. Now what are you going to do with this tree? You're going to bring it to the inside of your calf. Would you like to tap down on the toe? Or would you like to perhaps take the heel and bring it to the top of your thigh? Now the key here is to keep everything to the center. And you might want to bring the arms out wide. It'll be easier for you, like a trapeze artist. Remember we did balance, we talked about the gravity center. You want to challenge this. Bring the arms overhead. Keep the strength in your legs. Rely on everything you can. And then, wherever you are, take your expression of tree. Go ahead and draw the hands back to center wherever you are. Let the leg come side, come all the way forward, and then cross that leg over the other one. So your feet, your pinky toes are together. Inhale the arms up. Grab onto the elbow, to the wrist, and just take your body over one side. Come back to center. Grab onto the wrist, go over the other side. Listen to your body. What's it saying to you? Thank you, or maybe I should do this at the other side, which we will. Hands come to the hips, uncross the legs, and then just give yourself a little shimmy back and forth. And we'll come to our other side. So feet side by side, bring your fingertips to either side. Relax the body. Imagine the taproot of your other leg deeply rooted downwards. Lift the other heel. Pause here. Now, go ahead and get a lot of strength from that hip. As your hands come down to heart center, we're making a statement of where our gravity is, our center of gravity. Inhale the knee up. Exhale it to the side. And then decide which tree you're going to be on this side for today. Wherever you are, come center. Pull the thigh to the foot to the thigh. If your toe is on the ground, then take all you can from the ground, that energy. Maybe let the arms float out. Maybe challenge yourself. Bring your arms overhead in a strong way. Wherever you are, draw your hands back to heart center. Release the foot. Bring it back to center. Toe taps down. And then you can just side to side. You're going to take that same leg. You didn't do this side. Cross it over. Inhale, rise up. This is the yummy part. Hold on to one wrist. Lift up. Take it over. Side. Feel the side body relax. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Make this about the side body. Come back to center. Stretch up first. Switch sides. And come to the other side. Come back to center. And release. Legs come side to side. You're going to find yourself back at the top of your mat. Okay. Coming through a flow. Let's start in a strong mountain. Go ahead, inhale, lift up. Rise strong. Exhale, root down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the ground. Walk, step, or jump back into high push-up, low push-up, whatever suits you today. Take the flow downwards. Lift to cobra or upward facing dog. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look at the top of your mat. Send your right foot forward. Drop the left heel. Push into both legs. Wake up, warrior one. Lifting through the torso into the leg. Draw your shoulders away from each other. And feel a little bit of loving kindness for yourself. What does that look like? Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink, send the body forward. Hands come down to either side. And then walk your hands to the middle of your mat and come into a wide angle forward fold. Inhale, lift the tailbone off. Feel that beautiful release. Bring your hands to the ground. Put a big bend in the right knee. Let the left leg be long. And now as you come up, I want you just to bring your hands to heart center. Feel beautiful stretch in that long leg. It requires strength here. Option to bring your fingertips to the ground. Inhale all the way back up. Pause. Exhale. Fold forward. Put a big bend in the other knee, your left knee. Stay here or come up, hands to heart center. Prayer. Okay, so now you've got a big stretch in that long leg on the right leg. Stay here for a breath. Hands come back down. Lift up, center again. Pause. Bend the knees. Bring your hands on your thighs. Lift all the way up. Stay long in your star. Open up. Beautiful stretch through the front body. Bring your hands to your hips. Pause here. Bend the knees. Toe heel together or jump center. And then come back to the top of your mat. Fingertips to either side. You remember that we are creating that environment, surrendering the environment that we choose today. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to the ground. Take your plank, high or low, wherever you want to go. With your flow, flow down. Reach the heart forward into cobra or upward facing dog. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Love this for your entire body. Bend the knees, look at the top of your mat. Send the left foot forward, drop the right heel. We're on the other side now. Inhale, wake your warrior one. Heart forward. The back leg supremely feeling the lift through the torso, the energy through the back pinky toe. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, arms forward again. Draw your hands to the inside of your mat. Walk to center again into that wide angle forward fold. Pick up your hips and just rock the body this time, side to side. Rocking side to side. Just feeling that energy flowing. Noticing how the knees move forward. Pause to center. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Keeping in line with the hips, noticing how they feel. You're going to walk the hands forward. Just pause here. So it's a kind of a funky down dog. And then send the hips back. Beautiful. So it's a wide angle forward fold. The hands, the hips, they're all aligned towards an angle. Inhale, bring the shoulders back over the wrists. Push into the fingertips. Exhale, send the hips back again. Inhale, exhale. One more time, send the body forward. You're trying to keep the heels on the ground to the best of your ability. If you can't, that's okay. And then slide back. Walk the hands back under the shoulders, hips right between the knees. Bend the knees, be nice about it. Bring your hands to your thighs. Pause here. Exhale. Toe heel the feet together. Lift the torso. Step, walk, or jump to center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees significantly. Hands to the ground. Bring your knees down. Your toes together, your knees apart, slide the hips down and back, and come into child's pose. Child's pose, this moment of connection to the earth. In child's pose, create this environment again, the one that says it's okay. It's okay not to show up to yoga every single Sunday. It's okay to forgive and to know that your intention, that in which you live and guide your heart from, far exceeds and can give the forgiveness to be okay. Inhale here. Exhale. And as you consider the notion of forgiveness beyond what you think we need to do, we can manage our expectations, even those of others. When we can release tension, resentment, and we can come to just joy, just moments that string to happiness. Walk the hands back up. Pause here. Now keep your knees apart, your toes together, and just slide your hips to your heels. So it's a pretty wide view with the knees. And then just walk your hands back the best you can. So just a nice opening for the top of your thighs. Open your chest, relax here. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And then just walk the hands back to center. Bring them down. Bring your knees together. I want you to come all the way up, up, up onto your sitting bones. So not quite there. So use your hands to move the flesh or glutes so that you can feel your sitting bones on the ground. As you lift your heart up, shake the shoulders back. Okay, so your hands are starting under your legs. And just bring the torso back ever so slightly until you start noticing that the middle of your body is starting to taut. There's something going on here. Good. Stay here. Take one leg up, pause, and then just bring that heel down. Take the other leg up, pause, and then draw that heel down. Now you should still be feeling that tension. Maybe lift your chest a little higher. Okay? You could do one leg at a time again, or you can bring both legs up, holding on to the legs, helping you, giving yourself permission to let go of the tension you think you need here, because it's working. Hands come forward, maybe. If you want to challenge yourself, go for it. I'm going to stay right here today. Take a deep breath in. Now take the one leg, take your left leg, extend it, bring your right knee in and lift the body. Keep that left leg floating. Feel that pressure through the core. Good. Release this. Bring both knees side by side. This is great core work. Now extend the right leg. Bring the knee in with the left. Let that right heel float above the ground. And then bring the knees back together. Put your feet on the ground. Woohoo! Awesome. Bring your legs side, or sorry, your hands down. Lift your chest. Exhale. Option. You can lift your feet, or sorry, push your feet into the ground and come into a reverse table if you like. That's a nice stretch. Okay, it requires a lot of the shoulders though, so maybe you don't want to be here right now. Good, and then draw it all the way back down. Come onto your elbows, pause here. It's a nice lift through the chest. Bring your feet out a little more. And let the bottoms of your feet come together in a diamond shape. And just give yourself a little butterfly movement here. Good, and then bring the knees together. Bring your feet apart and let your knees come internal. So rotate them internally. It's a nice release for the lower back too. And then just walk your body back down. Pause here. Let the arms come to tiered across. Let the upper body relax for a moment. And then take your arms and cross them over your body. So you want to have your, whatever wrist is up, that's fine. Stay there. So now we're just opening up the back body. Inhale the hands up. And then just reverse that hug for yourself. Opening up the back body, breathe. You might even be able to feel your shoulder blades here. Let the belly be empty. Exhale. And then let the arms float back down. Let the knees open up. And then just bring your arms to tiered across and send your hips, or sorry, your knees over to one side. Again, this is a beautiful, just restful way into the body. Nice release for the lower back. When you inhale, see if you can let the top hip feel and receive that inhalation, like that gift that you're unwrapping. And then draw your knees back to center and then float them all the way over to the other side. Inhale, draw your breath in. Exhale, release the tension in your spine. Let the left hip find its way again into that beautiful gift. And then draw your knees back to center. And here, if you want to do maybe another happy baby or knees into your chest, or maybe just let your knees slide side by side, do so. I'm going to welcome you into your final posture, Shavasana. So legs are long, palms open, shoulders retracted, and there's a heaviness to your body that is new to you today. It's not the same heaviness that you had when you were first waking up. It's different. There's a consciousness here that doesn't come from the residue of sleep, but rather the residue of movement. Allow yourself a full breath internally Let it simply fill you up, and then let it float away effortlessly. As your body finds a way to depend on this support, it's okay. As your body connects to your thoughts and realizes that you're not your thoughts, it's okay. As your body recognizes that movement is the way your body speaks to shed tension, that's okay. Allow your mind to be submissive to the energy you feel at this moment. Reaching deeply, opening yourself here to the possibility of healing, growth, attuning to the greater world around you. And when you're ready, give yourself the time to just move ever so slightly in the torso, the rib cage, in your wrists and your hands, in your knees and your ankles. And let your next breath be even fuller. And allow your body to receive movement in a deeper way. Drawing perhaps your knees in circles now as they come to your chest. Or maybe just giving them a hug. Loving yourself for a minute or two longer. And making your arrival to seated as slowly as possible. As we come into two things. In seated, find our mudra in an ancient yogic mudra that's called the Hairadaya mudra. So you're going to take your hands, and the tip of your index fingers comes into the crux of your thumb. Okay? And then the tips of your thumb come to the tips of the two fingers where your pinky fingers are let go. So again, tip of the index finger into the crux of the thumb. Okay? And then the tip of the thumb to the two fingers with the pinky finger outwards. And you just drop those onto either side of your body and just close your eyes down. This represents this, it's actually a Polynesian prayer that we bring ourselves, pinky fingers representing all that we need to let go, the expectations, and the other fingers coming into two different circles, bringing us to earth, earth to us to each other, and each other to us. And the ancient Polynesian prayer to forgive. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. and I love you. Bringing this prayer to ourselves, hands come to heart center. I'm sorry. I will forgive myself. I will thank myself, and I love myself. Namaste.